I dah start record. Boleh start dah kan? You guys dah ready ke?
Dah ready.
Okay.
Kita kena tunjuk muka ke?
I don't think so. Dalam arahan ada cakap tunjuk muka ke? You just cakap record
Tak,
je kan?
tapi kumpulan kawan saya Suwina punya kumpulan, dia orang tunjuk muka.
So kita nak tunjuk muka ke? Boleh je?
Boleh je.
Okay, sekejap.
நாங்களும் முக்க தான் இருக்கும். நான் போய் என் மேட்ச்ல உட்காந்து வரேன். மாத்திரம் பார்த்தோம். Tak apalah, tak nak tunjuk muka lah. Kan tak ada arahan. So, boleh start sekarang.
So good evening everyone. Today we will be presenting our task on paraphrasing from the paraphrase surgery lab. So in this presentation, we will analyze different samples based on presets, identify the issues such as speech writing or paraphrasing, and explain whether they are original or acceptable. So we are going to start with Yuva first.
So we start with set 1, which is AI plus human issue. Case file is analyze the following original text carefully before reviewing the suspect. The original text is social media platforms influence how individuals form opinions, often reinforcing existing belief rather than encouraging critical thinking. So, for the sample A, which is patch writing, social media platform influence how people form opinions, often reinforcing their existing beliefs instead of encouraging critical thinking. So, for sample A, the type of issue is patch writing. Then the wrong part is sample A is too similar to the original text. Although the writer replaced some of the words with synonym like pupil instead of individuals and instead of become rather than, but they keep the exact sentence structure and logical flow of the force. So is that okay?
I think I agree with Yuva. It's because it also shows that the writer relied too much on the original text instead of rewriting it independently.
Okay. So we move on to the sample B.
So now I'm going to explain about the second sample, which is the weak paraphrase. So the social media affects opinions and may not support critical thinking. So the type of issue in this sample is vague diction. And what is wrong in this sample is it uses the verbs are too weak, because the verbs are too weak and vague, and the words like affects doesn't explain if the change is good or bad, and it not support is passive. It lacks the academic depth. So that is the main problem, I think, in the sample B. So now we can move on to the third sample.
Okay, I'll be explaining the sample C, AI paraphrase. Social media plays a role in shaping opinion, frequently strengthening prior beliefs rather than promoting deeper analysis. So this paraphrase use different words and a slightly different sentence structure compared to the original. So the type of issue is acceptable. However, it introduced subtle additional ideas like deeper analysis that were not explicitly mentioned in the original text. So the answer for that, what is wrong is it uses different vocabulary from the original. I can repeat it again. So the answer for the what is wrong is it uses different vocabulary from the original. Different vocabulary from the original. So that's all from me. So I'll be explaining the set 2, which is file is observes the structure, integrity, and semantic meaning of the sources. So the original text, okay, I'm sorry. So the original text is online learning provides flexibility for students, but it may reduce opportunities for face-to-face interaction and immediate feedback. So let's look at the sample A, page writing. Online learning provides flexibility for students, but it may reduce chances for face-to-face interaction and immediate feedback. So I'm going to uh, I'm going to tell the answer for what is wrong first. The paraphrase is almost identical. And the type of issue is patch writing. So I'll be explain more. The paraphrase is almost identical to the original sentence with only a small change, such as reduce opportunities, instead of being replaced with reduced chances. So basically, the sentence structure and most of the wording remain the same. Do you guys agree with me?
So for the sample B, weak paraphrase, online learning is flexible but not very effective for students. So the type of issue of sample B is patch writing. The wrong is it mimics the author's voice and logical flow too closely. It mimics the author's voice. Mimics the author's voice. Is that my answer is okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so can we move to the sample C?
Okay, now I'm going to read the sample 3, which is AI paraphrase. So while online learning offers flexibility, it can limit direct interaction and instant feedback for learners. So, um, the type of issue for this sample is it is a bit logic mirroring because it is lack from the original synthesis or it is lack in from the personal voice. And the wrong part from this sample is I think it uses a formulaic uses a formulaic plug and play logic. Because by keeping the structure, it really fails to synthesize the real information into a new one and the original thought of process. And that is why I think the main problem in this sample. So now we can move on to the next case file. So this file determine if academic voice has been preserved or compromised. So the original text is students who rely heavily on technology may struggle to develop independent thinking skills. So the first sample is patch writing. Students who rely heavily on technology may struggle to develop their independent thinking. So, the issue in this sample is structural plagiarism because this sample looks more like copying the original text of the sentence I read before. And what seems wrong in this sample is it uses a find and replace method, which they just take the original sentence and rewriting it. The sentence follows the exact subject, verb, and object blueprint, or copying the skeleton of a source text, just only swapping the words for synonyms. And that is what I think the main problem in this sample. So, can we move on to the next sample?
So I'll be explain the sample B with paraphrase. So students using technology cannot think independently. So this is because the original says students may struggle, but this version say they cannot sing independent. So type of the issue is original. The type of issue is original.
Can you please repeat again?
The type of issue is original. So it is because it has own wording, but the meaning has changed. So the wrong is the per the wrong is it changed the meaning by making it to absolute. You can just write it has changed the meaning. Yeah, that's all for me. We can move to the sample C.
So for sample C, AI paraphrase, heavy dependence on technology can make it difficult for students to develop independent thinking abilities. The type of issue of sample C is plagiarism because it failed to credit even when you change every single word of a sentence. The idea still belongs to the original author. Is that I need to repeat?
Yes, please.
Failure to credit because even when you change every single word of a sentence, the idea still belongs to the original author. So that's all from me. Now we move to the repair section. The improved paraphrase is digital social environments significantly shape individual perspectives by validating preconceived notions, thereby impeding the cultivation of analytical reasoning. So, the first question of justification is what structural changes did you make? The answer is syntactic inversion. Change the sentence map from a simple subject plus verb to a complex noun phrase, which is digital social environments. Is that clear? Yeah, can. Syntactic inversion. Inversion. In inversion. Because change the sentence map from a simple subject plus verb to a complex noun phrase, which is digital social environments. So the second question is how meaning was preserved? The answer is subject matching. Subject matching. I exchange social media platform for digital social environments. So this keeps the focus on the online space while sounding more authoritative. So the third question is why this version is acceptable? Because it avoids patch writing. It completely restructured the original sentence rather than just swapping words. So that's all.
So now I'm going to explain about the set 2. So the improved paraphrase version of the original text is: despite the adaptable nature of digital education, students often face a significant decline in real time engagement and evaluative responses compared to traditional settings. So, for the first question, which is what structural changes did I make? So, I literally changed the sentence from a compound sentence to a complex sentence. So, by changing the sentence from a complex, from I'm sorry. So by changing the sentence from a compound version to a complex version, starting with a depend clause, I also move the core consequences, such as a decline in engagement, to the primary position in the sentence. So for the second question, which is how did you preserve meaning? So I kept the two main ideas, which is the benefit and the drawbacks. I use academic synonyms like evaluative responses to capture the specific meaning of feedback. So basically, I preserve the meaning by using the academic synonyms. So for the final and third question, which is why is your version is acceptable? So my version is really acceptable because it demonstrates original synthesis. Because it uses a unique vocabulary and also uses a completely different grammatical flow than the original source, and it also avoiding the both patchworking and oversimplification. And that is all for set 2. Now we can move on to the set 3.
So I'll be explaining the set 3. So the justification for the first question is the answer is changing its grammatical structure. Okay, I'll be explaining more. For example, like I rearrange the order of ideas and replace some words with synonyms or related expression. It is because it can help the sentence sound fresh while keeping it readable and natural. So for the second question, how did I preserve the meaning? Um, I made sure the main idea sure, remains the same. So this is because none of the original points were added or exaggerate, so the intended message is preserved. So the last question is, why is my version is acceptable? My answer is, it conveys the original meaning accurately. Accurately. This is because using new words and a different sentence structure, so it can demonstrate understanding of the source text while avoiding plagiarism, which is the goal of a proper paraphrase. So that's all from me.
So I guess that's all for today's discussion.
Yeah, that's all. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.